third video by PEBBLEZ Pedagogy for NEET Biology. As you can see on the screen, we are continuing with the first chapter, that is the living world. We are discussing the third life process, which is sensitivity. How do we define sensitivity? Sensitivity is the ability to respond to the environmental stimuli. It is the ability to respond to the environmental stimuli. By now, all of you know what is meant by responding to something. And stimuli can be physical, it can be chemical stimuli, or the stimuli may be biological. So let me repeat it for you. We define, or the definition of sensitivity is the ability to respond to the environmental stimuli such as physical, chemical, or biological is called as sensitivity. Here you can see in the image two examples. As always, one animal and another plant example is being displayed. First, let us focus on to the left side of the screen, which shows the movement, or you can see that the black region in the eye is increasing and decreasing in size. Okay, this is the example of a human eye, and this black region is called as the pupil. In common terms, you can say that it is an aperture or a hole in the eye, and this green region is the iris. Where our eyes respond to the environmental stimuli of light by either increasing the size of this aperture or decreasing the size of the aperture. When there is more light, our pupil in the eye becomes small to limit the amount of light that is going in. Okay, when there is more light. But when the light is limited or in dim light, our pupil size widens or increases. Okay, it increases to allow more light, allow light into our eye so that we are able to see objects more clearly. This is how our eye responds to the stimuli of light. So we exhibit sensitivity. Okay. On the right hand side of the screen, you can see an image of mimosa plant. Mimosa pudica is a scientific name of plant, which is also called as touch me not. Okay, you might have all done this while you were very young, isn't it? You can see this small herb growing along the side of the pathway. When you touch the leaflets or when you touch the leaves, they respond by closing their leaflets. So here the stimuli in plant, in this example, the stimuli is touch. Okay, and how does the plant respond? It responds by closing the leaflets. Okay, I repeat, sensitivity is a third life process which we are discussing today. Okay, here I have taken a plant and an animal example. The first example is with respect to animals, human eye, how human eye responds to the sensitivity, or how human eye responds to the stimuli of light by either opening up the pupil, dilating the pupil, or constricting the size of pupil. And the second image shows the way in which plants exhibit sensitivity. I have taken the famous example of touch me not plant, wherein when you touch the leaves close, right? So The second point which I would like to discuss under the heading sensitivity is, irrespective of the size and the level of organization, all living organisms exhibit sensitivity. You know that living organisms have varied sizes. They might be single celled like amoeba, okay, or a highly evolved organism like the human being. We all differ in size, isn't it? So even amoeba exhibits sensitivity as well as human beings do. Okay, so I hope you have got to know what my first point here would be. Now, to understand the second point, the level of organization, I have taken two examples. Since I'm a visual learner, I learn by looking at things. I find it more easier to relate to daily life examples, such as the one we have taken up in a general scenario wherein you go to work and you have several employees who may be called as staff. More number of staffs are headed by, or a group of staff or group of employees are headed by a manager, and they are in turn headed by a director, followed by a VP, and at the top of the pyramid is the CEO. These are various levels of organization in any job setup. But coming to biology, how am I able to relate this to biology? You all have heard of atom, molecules, organelles, cells and all that, isn't it? Let us consider this part, only this part. I would like to only take this as an example because it is much easier for you to understand at the moment. We'll go to the other aspects of this pyramid later on. We all have studied that group of cells together form tissues. A group of tissue together contribute organ. A group of organs together form an organ system, right? And several organ systems form an organism, isn't it? This is called as various levels of organization in biology. Okay, I have related this to a daily life or a job setup just for you to remember. I repeat, irrespective of the size of any organism or the level of organization, an animal might be only made up of few tissues, or it might be made up of multiple organs, or it may be a single celled living organism. All exhibit the phenomena of sensitivity. So this was what I was hinting at. So let me go back, change the color of the pen, reiterate as always. You have learned about sensitivity. I have already discussed this. Again, I have repeated it for you, so let me not waste my time. I would like to go to the second slide for today. Irrespective of the size or the level of organization, living organisms exhibit the phenomena of sensitivity. I have taken a simple example wherein in any job setup wherein several employees are headed by a manager. A group of managers are monitored by a director. Then group of directors will be looked at by a VP. And finally, there is a CEO of the company who takes all the decisions. He is the head of the company and all those things. Similarly, if I compare the staff to cells, okay, then group of cells together form tissues. I'll compare them to managers. So something like that, if you keep assimilating, analyzing things, you'll be able to understand that group of cells together form tissues, tissues together form organs, organs form organ systems, and finally organisms. This is the level of organization that we are talking about in biology. So irrespective of whether an animal or an organism is very tiny or highly evolved, or it may be having multiple tissues or multiple organs, so irrespective of that, all living organisms exhibit the phenomena of sensitivity. Let me see you in the next video which I'll be talking in that I'll be talking to you about the fourth life process, that is the growth. If you would like to know more about the second life process, that is respiration, go back to my second video. Okay, that is me signing off. I am discussing the chapter 1, the living world, for NEET biology. These are videos put forth by me as PEBBLEZ Pedagogy. I want you to subscribe, like, and do share my video. Thank you so much.